Hi, everybody. I'm Chicago psychic medium and intuitive consultant, Mel Dorr. And you're probably wondering why I have this scarf around my neck. Well, it hides a turkey chin. I'm going to be on the Thanksgiving table with that. Look like a turkey. Uh, um, we're having a snowstorm here in Chicago. I like a good snowstorm occasionally. The temperature is hovering right around freezing. It's right around 30 degrees Fahrenheit. So for you watching from another country, that's right around 0 degrees Celsius. Speaking of metric, which I like better, my guides tell me at some point we'll slowly transition to the metric system. So it's about time. Anyway, so for us here in Chicago, 0 Celsius, 30 Fahrenheit, it's kind of warm. I remember when I first moved here back in 1983, uh, it would snow. We wouldn't see the ground again until spring. And the temperatures usually, hovered right around maybe 5 above 0. I don't know what that is in Celsius. And I've seen it cold here as 25 below 0. So that's Fahrenheit. Do the math. It gets confusing. Anyway, my mother made this for me before she passed away. So when it's ever cold outside, I always wear that. And it's kind of chilly in my office because we have these huge big windows. And so um, it's hard to keep it warm in here in the winter. Anyway, I want to talk a little bit about today of some of the things that's happening. Um, so I'll be on Linda G's channel very soon, and I'm going to be a regular on there. So I'm really excited about that. Please go on my community board and post questions you'd like to ask, and I'll get to those too. At any rate, once again, when I get to 10,000 subscribers, I'll offer 3 free half-hour sessions. So um, when we get there, 3 free readings, half hour. Yay! I look forward to that. Okay, so a lot going on. The House formally took the article of impeachment to the Senate chamber. And my guides show me there's going to be more coming out, even more and more about Trump, uh, about that day, that infamous day when his people tried to overturn our government. Um, and I think it was just reported, and I'm looking down at my notes here. I think it was just reported that there was a plan to oust Jeffrey Rosen in the Department of Justice. It was, I think, Jeffrey Clark came up with it. Uh, and so to put maybe Clark in that position to force Georgia to overturn the election results. Boy, the truth just keeps coming more and more and more. So Mr. Clark is going to be under indictment for his underhanded dealings, probably conspiracy to rig an election. I don't know. I'm not a lawyer, so I don't know what the official charge would be, but at least 4 or 5 counts. And I see at least my guides show me at least 2 or 3 more former aides, coming forth against Trump. So there's going to be my guides say a lot more whistleblowing. Um, so you know, Trump is still trying to pull his bullying tactics. Once a bully, always a bully. And what he's threatening to do now is for those senators in the Senate who might vote uh, to convict him in the Senate, he's saying that he's going to go against them. He wants to punish them, and he'll start his own political party. Um, well, it kind of looks like that's already happening in Arizona. We'll talk about that in a minute. So essentially, he's still trying to bully people into doing what he wants to do, which doesn't surprise me because Trump is a bully. He'll always be a bully, and he's always going to seek attention. One of the best ways to stop him is just don't give him media coverage, but make him accountable. That's huge. Um, you know, I've heard, and I'll bet that if those Republican senators, could vote um, anonymously during the impeachment, they would vote to convict Trump. But since they have to do so publicly, I think many of them are still fearful. So it makes me wonder what Trump has on them. Anyway, there will be two ways to go against him. Uh, he's going to go against the governor of Georgia. He said they have to be punished. Liz Cheney, Gonzalez. But again, he's doing it to try and bully senators to keep them from convicting him. Uh, I'm not thinking that, I'm thinking they probably won't have enough senators to convict unless they do it anonymously, the vote. But what I do see, and my Trump showed me this, is that there's going to be a special commission in the Senate or maybe the House, like the Trump Crimes Commission, to find out other stuff he did that is indictable in the federal system. Because I'm seeing at least 10 indictments, maybe 9 or 8 being handed down against him federally. And my guides show me that he'll also be indicted in New York for tax fraud, as well as 2 of his family members, and also Rudy Giuliani. Because what they're going to do is try to force Giuliani and some people to flip on Trump. That's what my guides show me. And I'm asking if they'll be successful. And the answer is probably yes. All right. Be interesting to watch that show. The other person I want to talk about is the head of the Republican Party in Arizona, Kelly Ward. And she is creating a really big rift in the Republican Party. She held a big rally or something. I think she's the chair of the Arizona Republican Party. And to me, she represents the fascist faction and is growing within the Republican Party. And my guide showed me a rift in the party, almost like a civil war without blood within the party. So some of those ultra-right wing Donald Trumplicans will start their own party, and then we'll have the other Republicans over here. Will it be stopped? No. But it reminds me back in the late 60s and early 70s of George Wallace, the bigot, of his American Party, which fizzled out after a while. And that's exactly what I see. My guides show me happening here. I see her under investigation as well. So Miss Ward, she might have been thinking about running for president at one day, but I still see all kinds of investigations and stuff coming out about her. And, she claims, and some of these Republicans claim to be pro-life, anti-abortion, but yet they supported Donald Trump, who played on the golf course with his putter. Sorry, couldn't pass that one up. And allowed over 400,000 Americans to die, more than American soldiers in World War II of this COVID crisis. Talked about kidnapping and killing senators and members of the House, and chanted, "Hang Mike Pence," who was one of their own, because he wouldn't do Trump's bidding. And yet they talk about the sanctity of life. The hypocrisy my guides show me will continue to come out. Yay. I'm giving my opinion, but I'm also throwing in my psychic vibes on stuff. I heard one of the people saying about the impeachment, one of the Republicans, don't do anything about it, let it go. It's just like going to throw gas on fire. It's going to incite people more. Excuse me. That's like saying don't hold the arsonist accountable because the flame will grow and become more explosive. How about hold the arsonist accountable so they can't start any more fires? Donald Trump is plotting. I'm telling you, he's plotting. And he's plotting an overthrow of the government as it exists right now to put he and his cronies in power. And part of that is him getting even, and the other part is because he don't want to go to jail. All right, and he still got people drinking his Kool-Aid. Boy, I love Biden. What he's done, he signed an executive order uh, for gay and lesbian people, LGBTQ, giving us kind of protection, yay, but also allowing transgenders back in the military. And he put the first transgendered American in his cabinet. So congratulations. Uh, Rudy Giuliani, I love it, that Dominion filed a lawsuit against him, the voting machine people. And guess what, folks? They're going to win. Geez, I wonder when Rudy's in jail, how they can collect their money. Maybe they can go visit him. The color orange looks good. Will look good on Rudy. It matches Donald Trump's hair. Anyway, the COVID crisis. As I said earlier, more people died than American soldiers in World War II of COVID. And it's getting worse. There's a new strain, I think, from Africa now, and also from Brazil that's more virulent, meaning more contagious, and also more lethal. Unfortunately, my guides show me that there will probably be at least 100,000 more that will die before we can get everybody vaccinated and get it out to the public. But I'm thinking that by June, at least the biggest part of us, of the population, will have had the vaccine, and it's not going to cause any major side effects. As many of you know, I participated in a study with antibodies, and now what they're saying is people who are recently diagnosed, if they're sick, they can maybe get the antibody therapy, which I don't know if I got the antibodies or not, but I think I did, because after a couple of days of getting them, I got a lot better. So I'm seeing really effective ways to distribute the vaccine under the Biden administration. And I promise everybody the vaccine is safe. I can't take it until February, but when I can, I have somebody filming and I'll show you me taking it. And I will give you what it's like within a day or two. I'll follow the results of it. At any rate, so I see people getting vaccinated. Thank goodness. A lot of people have asked what's going to happen to Hawley and Cruz. I see them censured, and I think that the ethics complaint against them obviously is going to be investigated and found to be true. So they're going to be in deep hot water. I understand that Hawley has now filed a counter complaint against the senators who complained against him for ethics violations. Hawley just keeps piling it on deeper. And, he's setting himself up to have a run for the presidency, but I don't see that happening. Mitch McConnell backed down. So I can see the Democrats kind of taking control of the Senate, even though it's 50-50. What I am worried about, my guides tell me we really need to be diligent, because I think the Democrats lead by a razor thin margin in the House. I think it's at 10 to 13 seats. I forget exactly. But my guides are saying we need to get out there and speak up. We really need to get organized, the Democratic Party anyway, so that we can take over more seats in the House of Representatives and also the Senate, and keep that lead. And my guides tell me that that Biden will do a good enough job and be able to work through the obstructionism to ensure that his popularity increases, yay, and his approval ratings increase, so that we can keep the House and the Senate, or at least keep it out of the hands of the Trumplicans. So people are asking me about that, and the midterms are only 2 years off. So my feeling is we'll retain control, even though the fascist faction has grown. It'll take hold for a while and seem to gain a lot of steam, but it, but ultimately it won't go anywhere. It'll be quelched. The same as the QAnon. Uh, and so there's going to be a lot brought out about those Congress people who tried to take guns into the House, um, and they're breaking the law, and they'll be censured for that as well. So there's a lot. I hope I've touched base on just a few things that my guides have shown me. I wanted to keep it relatively short this morning. And so um, I guess the biggest thing is the impeachment, the second one. Uh, but after that, I still see some kind of crimes commission coming out and a lot of Senate investigation, the ethics committees and things like that about all the laws Trump broke. My guides also told me that Trump gave secrets to the Russians, uh, state secrets. So I'm sure there's a scramble to straighten all of that out. Um, People are asking if they're still trying to interfere in the election, and the answer to that, if they're still trying to interfere in our stuff, and the answer is yes, they are. But I still see the computer guy that Trump fired. He was head of, I think, cybersecurity or something. I see them bringing him back, maybe to work for the government or as a consultant. So I see computer systems putting in place here that are going to be pretty much hack proof. So my guides showed me that as well. Uh, anyway, stay warm, stay well. Please wear your mask, get your vaccinations, everybody. Um, we will survive this. There's a lot of obstacles. My guides show me obstacle after obstacle after obstacle that Biden is going to have to face and climb over, but he will get over them. And working together to make sure that our democracy stays safe for all of us. Because if anything, during the Trump years and at the end of his administration, it should have shown us how fragile that it really is. Anyway, um, my guides tell me it'll be a rough road, but we shall survive intact, and our democracy will live on. Okay, I'll talk to you a little bit more later. Stay safe, stay well, and stay warm. Namaste.